Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome. So, we've got a little bit of a new setup today, and we're kind of testing out some things and seeing how well all this is going to work. The hope is that I'll be able to stream my setup like this for both our Discord server and potentially to upload some videos to YouTube later. So this is kind of be a rough run. So for those of you hanging out with us in Discord this morning, hello, good morning, welcome. And for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, if I decide to upload this video, hello, thanks for joining us. And please be kind. This is the first of its type. We are trying to work through the bugs. And yeah, hopefully we'll have some really good content later on. But for now, just kind of hoping that everything is set up correctly. For our recording, you guys should, in theory, be able to see my trading setup. This is not my full setup. I do want to specify that there are some other charts and things that I have on other screens that I do reference from time to time to help kind of allow me to build the picture of what I think is going on and kind of help guide my decisions or lack thereof. But what you do see in front of you, these are the main things that I'm looking at. The main screen to the right, that is our 512 tick chart, and that's going to be showing us the structure as the day builds out. We're going to be making our day trades based off of that chart. The chart to the left of that is our profile chart that helps give me an idea of how the day is building out in relation to our previous day's profile. On my actual screen, I do have about 5 days worth of data, but for the sake of making it easier for you guys to see what's going on, we're just going to be looking at yesterday and today for that. Of course, if there is anything super relevant that I think you guys should be paying attention to, we'll try and bring that up. Maybe not for today, but for something in the future, we'll make sure that the screens that you guys do have access to and can see will be a little bit more geared towards, well, just getting some good info out there. Other screens that I look at, I do have a 6-point indicator for the internals of the market. We're looking at our VOLD, our advanced decline on the S&P. That is a weighted advance and decline. And we also have the tick for the NYSE and the tick for the NASDAQ. And a little chart of our ES and our NQ as well. Other than that, over on my right screen, I have a couple different time frames opened up. I look at the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 90-minute, and the daily. 5-minute, of course, helps me kind of gauge what is going on in the shortest term. I also use that to help me establish where consolidation or choke points are. For those of you that aren't aware, my particular trading style, what I like to do is I like to look for those areas where the market starts to condense price action. And then I place my bets accordingly to who I feel is in more control, trying to take advantage of the bigger move at the best risk to reward entry location. On our 15-minute chart, that is our Heiken Ashi chart. That just kind of helps me see a little bit of where the direction and momentum is going. I have found playing crossovers on that, specifically on my 13 and 48 moving averages. It's fairly accurate. I don't strictly play the crossovers. A lot of times the crossovers will actually happen in the after hours sessions, and at that point they're kind of useless to us. But you can kind of pay attention to how they're building out in relation to the EMA cloud. Our 90-minute chart, that is going to show us three periods of 30-minute trading. So it kind of breaks up our market profile data into quarters, if you will, by the time we get to the end of the day. Just kind of like a little bit of a longer term. Oh, okay. Wow. I'm going to need to change some sound settings there. That's our bell. We're live. We're trading. Here we go, guys. So what are we looking at for today? Well, we've kind of had a balance area building out over the last week. This is what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is day 6 of this balance area. And we're trying to figure out if the market's going to remain in balance for this final push into the end of the quarter, or if maybe today we do finally make our break. We have had some pretty good trading days the last 2 days. By pretty good trading days, I mean the direction for the morning was relatively easy to pinpoint. Unfortunately, not every day is going to be like that, but with the breach of the floor on Wednesday, we had a pretty good indication that we could play to the upside for Thursday, utilizing that as a spring event. And then, of course, the subsequent upthrust from Wednesday into yesterday's activity on Thursday. I think I just messed up my days there. But anyway, Tuesday into Wednesday, we played to the upside. Wednesday into Thursday, we played to the downside. And today, we're probably not going to be taking any early entries. We're sitting right on our point of control. So we'll see if we get a good trade set up. And yeah, I'm going to try and not just talk for the sake of talking. I'm mostly going to be focused on talking when there is relevant information or if there's questions in the Discord for me to answer. But yeah, here we go, guys. Our first live trading session. So one of the reasons why we haven't really been able to do this before, I don't know why, but whenever I'm running Discord and streaming on my main computer with the main setup, for some reason my computer ends up crashing. I think maybe it just can't handle the RAM, or I'm wondering if maybe one of my monitors is a little bit faulty and some of the infrared, but I don't know. Whatever it is, it doesn't work. So what we're actually doing is I've got a separate login going on my laptop, which is why, you guys just have that view of the two screens. And the cool thing is because our account is linked, any drawing I do on my main computer, even though you can't see my crosshair moving, as soon as I finish it, boom, pops up right there. So you guys will be able to see structure as I draw it out. I was a little bit worried at first that that was going to be something we were going to run into where you weren't going to be able to see all that. Hopefully our sound quality is pretty good. We've got a brand new microphone set up that we're super excited about. I do have some music playing in the background to help me focus, but hopefully that's not coming through on your end. All right. Now the waiting game. Looks like we had a pretty big volume spike in the opening tick. Looking at that, we can kind of see there's a divergence there. Divergence being when the volume bar and the size of the price action bar are vastly different from each other. Now, what that divergence means for this beginning action, this opening activity, I don't know. And I don't think we're going to be making any plays off of that because we are right on top of our point of control. We are going to update a few lines here because it seems like I missed them when I was doing my setup and intro. So our overnight low is actually lower than it's currently showing. So we'll update that. Boom. All right. Overnight low is now in the correct spot. Our long, short, and stop lines have actually moved and adjusted as well from some of the market activity. So let's adjust that to where our new levels are. Boom. Boom. Is that our short line? That is our short line. Awesome. Something to note about my long stop and short lines, it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to enter at those lines. What it's really helping me kind of base and gauge is where the power and control is going to be based off of some levels. Ideally, my best entry location is going to be very close to the stop line. obviously, from the longer perspective, if we're below the stop line and we enter short, we know that we should probably get out of it by the time we start crossing up towards that long line. Right now, we've got a support building, but it's kind of getting hammered on. So it seems like it's only going to be a matter of time before that ends up crumbling. And it is right where our overnight low is and right where our short line is. So we may have actually wanted to sell the close there. But again, being this much in balance, I don't like playing the early morning session if I don't really clearly see some good moves. It kind of sets the day off wrong if I end up on the wrong side, and sometimes it can really mess with my head. I am not a professional trader. I still get stuck in my emotions sometimes, so that's something that I'm working on. And I recognize that in certain market conditions, I don't make good decisions. So in those situations, it's better to just sit on my hands and wait. And the other thing I'm hoping, oh, good. All right, the screen is going to move with the price action. Was worried that I was going to have to like constantly keep moving it over on the laptop. Not that that would be the end of the world, but it would just be a little bit of an annoying thing. All right, so we did end up breaking through our overnight low, and it looks like we are going to end up hitting our lower target. So this does go to show that selling the close was absolutely the right decision there. We could have taken a nice chunk of profit there at our lower target. For those of you playing the home game, we're going to figure out just what we could have made. So let's see, we would have been playing the 361s, being the closest to our target. All right, and if we had entered right around the close, probably could have gotten that for about $1.89, maybe $1.90. And probably ended up selling it for about $2.54. So yeah, that would have been our day right there. We would have been done. Early days like that are awesome. I love hitting our goal early on, so then we can move on with our lives, do other things. All right, here we go. Testing our previous day value low. We've already hit our lower target. So at some point after our price action kind of continues to develop, we will move that around. Looks like we already took out the swing low in the ES from the overnight. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. So our next lower target, we'd actually be looking at just above our previous day low. So you can see on our profile, on the left-hand screen, our point of control is starting to migrate down. Market is definitely in a move at the moment, and we're going to be seeing what happens when we get down to that low. So now that the market is in a move, some people who are breakout traders, they would probably try to jump in here or look for a retracement to our moving average line. But I am neither of those. So I'm actually going to be waiting for the next consolidation point. Basically, when the market stops moving in the downward direction, we'll be looking for that zone to then place our trade in. And of course, if it takes an aggressive bounce and we get a nice buying spike, that'll be some important information to carry in, especially if we end up back in that first zone that we kind of established between the previous day close and the overnight low. Let's see, looking at our Weiss waves, who's been in control this morning? A lot of effort from buyers to push up towards that previous day close. And then this most recent down move, a lot of effort by sellers, but pound for pound, they definitely got much more bang for their buck than the buyers did. So this tells us that at least for the first period, sellers are in control. They have taken the price. We are below our T+2 and our T+3 low. Haven't crested the new low yet. And the good news is getting closer and closer to this low, we're going to have a pretty good risk to reward entry for some long plays. So we're actually going to get ourselves ready for that. Let's see, being an expiry day, we're going to go with the 362s on our long side. Looks like we might be starting to enter into a little bit of consolidation here. I don't want to enter yet because buyers are still looking weak, sellers are still looking strong. We could get an undercut of the low to buy. So just waiting, biding our time, starting to look towards some long entries. We have our first penetration of our EMA cloud. So that is the first sign of seller weakness. Look at that. Back to our overnight low. We hit that thin area in our volume. Let's see if buyers pop us back or if sellers step in. Oh, would you look at that? So now the next thing we can kind of see in our Weiss waves, buyers did not have to try very hard to get the price back up here. Look at the size of that selling wave, and then look at the size of this buying wave. That buying wave is very small, comparatively speaking, and we pretty much retraced the entire move at this point. So that early lead sellers had, they have absolutely lost it now. This is the buyer's zone. So we're going to be looking for our long entry. If we get a little bit of a pullback from our VWAP here, that should be a good spot for us to get in, right about where our EMAs are going to start to cross. If we get the pullback. We might not. And if that's the case, well, we just missed the first play, and that's okay. Well, second play, technically. Our first play was the previous day close short. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. Pushing down. I pushed a little bit further than I was anticipating. Oh, man. The volatility on this is moving so quick. Almost got in. But that is just moving so fast. Am I playing too close? No, we're just at about 62% implied volatility. That's why the price on our contracts is moving so rapidly. So on days like today, we also want to scale our risk way down as well. Because of course, just a few ticks in the wrong direction and it's going to look pretty painful, even if you are correct. test of that thin area. So right here, this was our ideal entry point. Of course, with the volatility, it was going to make it very hard. We might not be able to get into a play this morning just because things are volatile. We could play further out of the money, but I'm not expecting any huge moves to the upside. At least not yet. We are starting to enter into some consolidation. All right, let's see if we can build some structure on this now. A little uptrend line that we can be paying attention to there. It does look like we've got some wedging between there and the VWAP, and we just missed it again. Man, it really is, though, the price on these contracts. Like where I wanted to enter was just about $2.13. And then up here, not too far away from that, we're looking at like $2.60. That's like 50-cent swings, and that's not even in the money. All right, broke structure a little bit there. We are getting that consolidation, testing that thin area again. Some price action wedging. You can see the EMA is getting closer and closer. Looks like we might be getting ready for a pop soon. Got about 12 minutes left in A period. We're sitting above the midline. Taking one more crack at that thin zone. So relative to these lows, this will be really telling of whether we want to get in long or not. And of course, it's good that we stayed out with that volatility, right? Because we would have had to hold through quite a bit there. Yeah. So just as easily as the buyers pushed us up, sellers are pushing us back down. They are having to try a little bit harder. So that's good to note, especially if we're still trying to think for our potential long position. Got our previous day value low coming up. Sellers are really putting on the heat. Can see that Weiss wave building. Pound for pound, what they're getting in price action, not really pushing it. I think price might be calming down enough we can get a good entry without feeling like we're buying all this volatility. And we missed it. Yeah. See the size of that buying wave? Almost reclaimed that entire down move. Buyers are still in control of this. You wouldn't guess that based on the fact that we're trading below the VWAP. Of course, we're talking in like the shortest time frames possible, right? I mean, this is just from early this morning to now. Buyers have wrested control from the sellers, but sellers had control from 9:34 to 9:38. So they had control for a little bit there. And I hate entering right at the middle. The good news is all this talking myself out of positions is probably good for us. I mean, I already did express how I don't like playing into these volatile balance areas. And at the same turn of the cheek, I'm talking about trying to enter it. I never said I was a professional. I just play one on TV. Got a pretty even distribution of positive and negative ticks this morning. Weighted advanced decline. Getting closer to our zero. We'll actually cross over if we end up getting above our previous day close. This looks like it is starting to break away from our upper trend line, traded through it sideways. It's going to take another crack at that VWAP. EMA is still condensing, showing us that activity is garbage. Aha! And there it is. Previous day close. New high on the RTH session. Nice. We're gonna there we go. Rock on. So, hindsight. Ooh, pardon me. Kind of look at that. We were talking about how we wanted to get in long back at about 9:46. We didn't enter there. Volatility was a little too crazy. Volatility started calming down at 9:48. We talked about getting long again, and we missed the opportunity there as well. That one was definitely a lot better telegraphed than our sell the close from the morning. So unfortunately, that's the way it goes sometimes. You know, talk yourself out of getting into a position, and then you watch it run away without you. You just got to move on to the next one. Don't get hung up on the money you left on the table or the money you missed out on. It's a recipe for disaster and a thinking error. So we are getting some consolidation up here at the top of the range. We've got about 5 minutes to B period. So this is great. We should have a good play coming up once we start into B period. We'll know if we end up getting a poor high and some pushback off that. Then we'll be able to grab a long position as soon as we find some nice staging ground. We're also getting close to crossing through our stop zone and getting back on the long side. So we can see that with where our short was, if we took the short when we crossed the short line, would have had a nice scalp. And then, of course, we don't want to be trying to play short once we start crossing back up into that zone. But we talked about that. We established that. Now, because B period is so close to starting, I don't want to enter long right here at the stop line. I want to see if we get some pullback towards our EMAs or even the VWAP before looking for our B period long. And of course, if the information changes, could potentially be looking for a short as well. I mean, if today wants to keep balancing, we may just be flipping back and forth across the VWAP. So we'll see. We're getting some divergence here. A lot of volume coming in, and the candles really aren't moving anywhere. You can see the volume profile starting to flesh straight out to the side. And those candles are not doing much of anything. So there's a lot of activity happening at that stop line. One could say that our buyers ran into a supply wall. So now the $1 million question will become, does the supply wall burn out the buyers, or do the buyers consume all that supply? Good morning. Welcome. Awesome. All right. So you can hear me all right. Cool. Yes. Yes. So I'm on the recording setup this morning. So everything should sound crisp, hopefully. Normally you were hearing me on my AirPods, which, I mean, AirPods are pretty awesome, but they're not going to capture the same quality level. This microphone's got a pop filter on it and all that fun stuff, and it's directional. So, yeah. Can you see the stream all right? You see the screens in front of you? Awesome. Perfect. So you didn't miss anything too crazy. I missed two good opportunities that I talked myself out of at the same time that I was trying to talk myself into them. So that was fun. We were talking about selling the close. And, well, as you can see, selling the close would have been a nice scalp. And then we were talking twice about entering for longs as we were coming down to touch our trend line that we have drawn up there. And we talked ourselves out of that just because the volatility was all over the place. I mean, I say I talked myself out of it. I probably wouldn't have gotten the entry. I probably would have missed it. Oh, and we may have just missed our next opportunity. Let's see here. Got a lot of effort in that selling push that really didn't go anywhere. We are looking for the long entry. Let's see. Where's this pulling back to? Okay, good. So we are into our B period. That's a pretty aggressive pullback. That might be more than I bargained for getting in long. Or it'll just touch a really great price that we didn't grab and do its thing. Oh, whatever. We've established buyers are pretty dominant right now, so we may end up buying the breakout of the high on the day. That'll at least give us a good point of entry because our stop line is really close to that as well. Otherwise, we'll just wait and see where this low ends up coming to and if we have a good entry point there. Maybe we'll get a VWAP touch we can buy. That'd be nice. VWAP is another great risk to reward entry location. Interesting. I'm not sure how to read this action. So it seems like since B period started, it has been an early sell-off. We didn't get the poor high. Could be a lot of longs taking profit from that last jump up too. Though it looks like if we keep coming down, our VWAP is going to coincide pretty well with our trend line. We're going to draw a channel, see what that looks like. What? Attach, thank you. All right, so our channel's pretty interesting here. So we can see that when we did get that break upward right before B period started, it did kind of exceed the limits of the channel. And then that's where we started the reversal point. So we're going to leave that channel drawing up for now. So that 363.01 level, that was our previous low for the consolidation zone that we've been building in. It's very interesting how price has reacted to that line so far for this little bit of movement here. if we are still moving up, I think we're going to have one more attempt at a press downward before we start running some of the long stops. Could be wrong, but I also don't want to enter long right at this point. I mean, we're in the middle of the channel. It's not good risk to reward location. It's only good if it works. Also, for those of you in the Discord this morning, if I'm chattier than normal or over explaining things more than normal, is because I am also recording this session. Not sure if that's something that I'm going to do regularly yet or not, but figure it'll be good if there's any nuggets of gold, nuggets of wisdom scattered throughout my inane ramblings. So if it gets too annoying, let me know. Because first and foremost, I cater to the Discord crowd. Sorry, YouTube. Ticks are still fairly evenly distributed. We are battling right now on our nicey for the next tick. Nice uptick will tilt it in that favor. NASDAQ, only one negative tick so far today. Breath ratios kind of straddling the line, nothing really exciting. Weighted advanced decline is now on the top side. Our unweighted is leading weight. And we're kind of back to diddling in the middling. So I'll give this some trend lines and see if we have a bit of an apex forming that we might be able to take advantage of. Not really. Not really. Ooh. Here we go. If we're still looking for the long entry, we're about to get a good risk to reward location. We could start building the position here with a smaller lot size. It's starting to run away without us again. I don't chase entries. Either I make the entry when it's good, or I wait for the next one. That was something that I used to do a lot of early on in my trading career. The FOMO trades, the chasing trades, and you end up paying way too much for it because you're trying to buy it in the direction that it's moving. And then what ends up happening is because you just bought all the volatility as it starts to move, well, then you got to wait for another volatility spike to even hope to sell it. And if volatility all of a sudden drops off, well, guess what? Your contract's kind of worth dog do. Yeah. Talked myself out of it again. At the very least, that would have been a nice scalp from the low to the high right here. Yeah, I was kind of rambling earlier this morning. We've been kind of locked in this consolidation zone. And then, of course, we have the end of the quarter today. And it's really not unheard of for the market to kind of finish in a stagnant balance point at the end of a quarter. So, I mean, the anomaly, if you will, or the unlikely scenario would actually be to get a pretty decent price move out of range today. Not that it can't happen, but you know. Getting a condensing of those EMAs again. We so awesome. I talked myself out of another entry. I don't know. We've had a good month. I've had one red day this entire month, so even if I don't take a single trade today, whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Well, the price action's starting to get more volatile, so hopefully that means we're going to actually get a move in B period now instead of this bouncing back and forth between support and resistance. Pretty big effort push down. This could be the flush before the jump, but this is also our third slam into support. With a lower high from our high of the day. Well, either way, we just missed a really good risk to reward entry. Right where our channel line, VWAP, and that support are meeting. You know what? We've been so inactive. Let's see if we can get in. Nope, missed it. All right, so that time at least we actually tried to put a trade on, and just the volatility didn't let us get in. So I feel good that I at least freaking finally tried to buy. But as soon as it started moving up and away, I canceled it. I didn't want to get executed in at a price I didn't want to pay. Let's see, 926 weekly point of control has been a popular support resistance level. Yes, it has. We got, was that two POCs on just individual days established there. Oh, You know what I forgot? We have a VPOC from Wednesday that I haven't marked off. It's at 9:28. Apologies if you hear some yipping in the background. Apparently, my puppy is dreaming. I don't know how he's asleep with me sitting here talking. Maybe my soft voice put him to sleep. Okay. We've got a little breach of VWAP, breach of our channel bottom. Try and get in here. All right. So we are in long. We're going to set a stop on this just in case it starts really dive bombing. But I like our long entry. Oh, no. She's breaking. Oh, wow. That came really close to stopping us out, and then it didn't. I don't know if it's showing on the other screen. Also, I am going to have to adjust my sound settings a little bit so you don't hear the doo-doo-doo, doo-doo-doo on both of the computers as I buy and exit positions. All right, we caught the right side of volatility at least. Doesn't look like she wants to get back above VWAP, though. So we may be taking a loss on this first position. But also we might not. That's why we have a stop loss. Because I don't want to be holding it if we drop lower than that point we just did. There we go. All right, they stopped us out. Back down to our overnight low. Oh, man, they're teasing me. All right, where's our next play? Where's our next play? Don't like that the structure broke. We could try to enter long again off the overnight low. Although, I mean, at this point, they've already stolen some money from us. Well, no, not stolen. I put that money up and lost it. Probably should have given it a slightly more generous stop loss below the overnight low. Seriously? You gotta be. Yup, I should have given it a more generous stop loss. That's a pain in the butt. Yep, that was the flush out. And that's what we were playing to, right? So now, got to ask ourselves, did we enter too soon? Because, I mean, technically, where I got stopped out, that means we could have gotten it for about 20 cents cheaper. Hmm. All right. I'm going to try another play here. So we've got that thin zone right at VPOC that we're playing to. I'm going to see if it can kind of rebuild into that channel. I know you guys can see where my stop is. That's just the emergency stop. I probably will end up flattening this if we lose this movement. 35. Oh, geez, there we go. All right. We're going to sell a piece to try and reclaim some of our loss. Oh, man, I hate how this volatility is moving. No, I'm trying to limit sell, you punk. I was a little slow there. Dang it. Getting that up wedge now? Is that what's happening? Hmm. Cool. All right, we got 2 pieces left. So think, do I want to protect this now? Oh man. Why didn't it hit that cell? It's so close. Come on. Right at the highs. Oh, that resistance. Ugh. That's not good. Back down at the support again. I actually was about to add to my position, but that moved too quickly. Hmm. This price action is disgusting. Wacky bonds. Hmm. All right, C period. Let's see if it's going to try and run that B period high. That would make me a very happy boy. And of course, we've lost some of our theta now. Oof. It's just right there. I mean, the high structure looks weak. So, I mean, I feel pretty good that I'm at least going to get this next sell. And the good news is, if we do get this next sell, then we're green on the day, and we've got one piece left that we can kind of let play out and see if we end up getting a nice fat home run to end our quarter, end our month, end our week. There she goes. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to sell this? Well, we've got $109 secured. Well, let's see where the top of our channel is. So it's 30. Okay, so let's say we're at 30. We've got one piece left. I hit 200. Oh, geez. 235. Wow, we needed to move up to 435, huh? That might be a lot. But let's see. We're gonna set the limit sell, and well, all right. That doesn't look too ridiculous. Let's see, where is it? Of course, it doesn't look too ridiculous if this, keeps moving. That's the big thing, right? And we have to hope that that C period low doesn't get taken out, because that's where our stop is. I'm not going to take less than that, because at least with that stop in place, we should secure, 10 cents on this last position. Could also sell it now and just take $115. So could be done for the day. We already paid for our mistake. Now, you know what? We're green no matter what, albeit it's just a tiny green if this does retrace. We're just going to let this whole thing play out. I keep telling myself that I need to do that more, because the amount of times that I'm right and I don't end up doing that, I start kicking myself, and I hate that. It's like, all right, so you already won. You got that last piece on, it's in a pretty safe spot. I mean, running C period low definitely is in their MO, but the hope is that we'll move up in D and E before we get a retracement back down to C period low in F. That also depends on how strong buying is. I mean, it looks like it's lost some steam, but sellers don't seem like they're trying to step in aggressively here. Granted, this has been a push-pull kind of back and forth, so I think what we will do, though, is we'll sell it at the top of the channel no matter what. But we're going to redraw our channel a bit now that we've got more activity and action. Kind of see where everything comes to at this point. Yeah, I mean, we're still kind of consolidating up here at the top. That's a good sign for bullish activity. So there's a little fun lesson for you in market profile, Wyckoff theory, that kind of stuff. When you get consolidation at the end of a movement, that's normally indicative that the move isn't quite done yet. I mean, obviously, we can't say for certainty because anything can happen, but the probability is much higher that when you do get that consolidation at the end of a move, it's not quite done. I mean, look at this. I think now that we have gotten that next move, we're going to move the stop up. Well, where is our stop? Got to find it in our option chain. Quit moving around on me. Well, if we had moved it up, we would have just ended up taking it there. All right, let's see if this is another leg starting. Don't want to prematurely stop ourselves out of this. I mean, structure of our moving averages still holding. We are still getting some consolidation up at the end. There's the sign of weakness. A little penetration into our cloud. Just the tip. Right now I've got my eye on kind of the base where support should flesh out if we get a little bit of a pullback. Because there's probably plenty of people eyeballing and looking for a good short opportunity. We've already won this long position. I mean, ideally, I don't want to let it retrace all the way back down there, right? I mean, that's just silly. We've got all this profit. Be better to take it if the move does look like it's over. Especially because our high is just shy of the base of that selling spike from yesterday. All right, that's about where we would expect support to hold. So we'll see if we get some pushback. I mean, we could kind of look towards our thin zone in the volume profile too, and then where we would expect to find support is more around that 363.75 level. Which, I mean, that's only a little bit below where we're at right now. A lot of selling effort. Really didn't get that much out of it. At least not yet. They're not done, though. I mean, we got, 19 minutes till we start the next period? Could potentially be gapping up from C to D. A narrow gap, but a gap nonetheless. But now that we are getting some actual penetration of our EMA cloud, the move seems like it's lost its chutzpah. So, ideal scenario, I'm looking for a pop back out with a high that ends somewhere around here. I say here, like you can see the crosshair on my screen. So, with a high right around 364.25, and if we kind of fail to move beyond that, I'll just close this position and take the profit. Of course, if we don't end up getting that and we just move back down, well, I'm going to end up with the smaller amount of profit that we were talking about from the get-go. So there's that. All right, here's the potential move up. Let's see if it has the strength to break that resistance. The amount of selling effort and reward. They're not having to try very hard to thwart this anymore. Womp. That little bit of support still hasn't broken yet, though. It does seem to be maintaining a very slight gap from our 363.67 to 363.76. So that's like it's like a 10-cent gap. I think the reason I'm holding this as long as I am is because I was kind of ticked at myself yesterday. We played the short and we sold way too soon. Structure did not dictate that we should have sold. Um, Conversely, today's structure, the breaking of our EMA, this does tell us that we should be looking for the good sell spot for the up move. But because I like to do things terribly, now we're holding it and we're hoping that we don't end up losing that support. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah, volume does seem to be drying up here. Not facilitating trade quite as well. Does seem that we're going to be gearing up for a rotation back down to the previous zone or for a new break. I mean, the fact that the gap's kind of maintained itself. Oh, that might have been the resistance we wanted to sell on. Yeah. Oops. There's a nice little spike in volatility, too. Not done, though. Closed up high. So proud of myself that I held this. Not proud of myself for being a little bit wishy-washy with my actual exit strategy. I mean, the good news is we've got a limit up here. We've got a stop down there. So, I mean, it's not like it can accidentally crush us while we're arguing with ourselves back and forth, whether to close the position and take the profit we have or to just let it keep playing out. We are also starting to lose some profit to theta. Our upper target for the day is still pretty far up, but it's kind of generous. I was much more confident in hitting our lower target, which we did this morning, than hitting the upper target for today. Okay, it's struggling to maintain that gap. Oh, it just closed its gap. I mean, we're still in C period, so son of a gun. Was the universe telling me that I should have taken my profit? Yeah, I mean, we went straight back through the support, the ice line for all of that. I mean, it's fighting it out right now, right here. This is the make or break. Either it bounces up from here and it confirms that that was a good break, or it's going to rotate back into our previous zone. I mean, who knows? Maybe they were just trying to clear everybody out before actually moving it up for the break. We have no way of knowing. I mean, that was a pretty strong pushback. All right. I'm impressed. Friggin' wacky price action. It's a good thing we were already in a position, because I mean this is that's all I gotta say about that. All right. Well, we've held it this long. Whatever. I'm gonna step away for a minute, guys. I gotta refill my water. I'll be right back. And we're back. Yeah. right, so here's where it gets a little bit dicey, right? Because this is kind of where we've been losing that steam before. So we definitely want to see it break out away from here. Need buyers to keep squeezing those shorts. Put the pressure on. Jeez. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say the up move is, I'm not going to say anything because I don't know what I'm saying. This is just flying back and forth across this very narrow area. All right, let's look at this objectively. Let's pretend we're not in a position, and let's try to analyze this as if we were looking to take a new position. Would we be looking short or would we be looking long? If we'd be looking short, then that tells us we need to close our long position. All right. Volume standpoint, seem to be facilitating trade all right up here. In fact, it seems like the POC is probably going to be popping up here pretty soon. We've got about 7 minutes till we enter D period, which would leave us with a gap up if we enter up around y'all. So those are some pretty good signs for a little bit more continued bullish activity. But then let's kind of look at our Weiss waves here. Sellers seem to keep going through these phases where they're able to absolutely push and move price action with little effort. But then there's these other moments where it seems like they're struggling to push it down. Buyers, on the other hand, we haven't really seen a struggle of effort, right? Anytime we've seen a lot of effort put into the up move, they've gotten a pretty good move out of it. I'd say pound for pound, they've had an easier time moving price action for most of the morning session so far. So another slight argument towards our bullish. Now, for our short arguments, we do have a shortening of the thrust. We kind of got a double bounce off of the resistance up here where we've encountered a pretty steep wall of supply each time. Man. Well, I think in this particular scenario, we'd be sitting on our hands. Let's draw a little bit of structure then. Let's see what that looks like. Some trend in lines. That's damn near flat. Come on. Lock onto the point. Thank you. Price action does seem to be wedging inside the channel. But yeah, more importantly, we're just kind of diddling in the middle. We're not really moving up. We're not really moving down. There's been some pretty good pushes in both directions, but they just they keep getting swallowed up, right? There's this wall of supply above the resistance we've been building, and then there's been some pretty strong demand down at the old resistance. I'd say this right here, what we're seeing, this development, this is the first moment in which buyers have been putting in some effort and they really didn't actually get super far. That might have been our last signal for getting out with the profit that we had instead of watching it all disappear to a full retracement. trend line held for now. Our EMA cloud is still positive, but price action has been hammering the crap out of it. Yeah, all signs point to uptrend. So I guess when in doubt on how to play the position, just stick to what you've already got situated and set up. Because, I mean, realistically, I would not be looking to open a new position at this moment. Price action is just too tough to read. But since we're already in a position, I'm just going to let it hang out. We are coming up on D period. We're going to go a little bit past 11 today, just because we do have an open position. But generally speaking, guys, that's when I wrap up my trading day. Try to be done by 11 a.m. Now, I don't have any clients that I have to get to after this. So the other general rule is when we do get this close, we just close out our position. Because I have had very bad experiences with leaving open positions when I go to do work and leave everything unattended. All right, D period's about to start. Let's see if we get an early correction or if we maintain a gap for some more upward activity. See, we got 30 seconds to D period. Theta's chewed on our position long enough now. If we get a volatility spike down similar to the one that we got, 15 minutes ago, it would knock us out of the position. It's kind of funny, right? It's just interesting to note, watching contracts and how they move and whatnot. Our stop was originally, down by where VWAP is right now, and it's just been migrating up. And of course, coincidentally, that also means our limit cell that we have up there has also been migrating up. So it makes it less and less likely that we're going to hit that. Like I said, it is a little bit on the aggressive side. It's playing into, getting a short squeeze to end out our Friday. Not necessarily a short squeeze to break range, but at least to go explore some of that, spike from yesterday. But really what I'm hoping for is that's what D period does, is D period breaks into the spike And then, if we can get somewhat close to our goal, we'll just close it. If not, we'll probably just keep letting it ride out, and we'll move our stop up if we get another leg up. Also kind of expecting this to hit the C period. Oh, wow. All right. She's trying to correct that gap real quick. And the gap has been corrected. Boom. Okay. So we don't have a gap into the upward activity. And with that kind of goes our hope for that big play to the upside. We're still in it, though. We'll see what happens. Got some weak-ish structure to the upside. It's not poor, but it is weak. We've only got 2 ticks up. And if we do get another little pop up above the highs, that will put us into yesterday's spike, which, I mean, in theory, it's kind of thin up there. So we should see some relatively quick movement. But given the fact that we keep running into this supply wall right at this level, it's actually interesting that we keep running into this supply wall. Now that I think of it, kind of the fact that we had, really thin trading the last couple days up at this area, at the highs, that is. But our first 2 days, right? Because it's Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So Friday of last week and Monday of this week, there was actually quite a bit of trading that took place just above our high of today. But then as we got into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the activity was relatively thin and price moved up through it quickly and down through it quickly. And now seem to be struggling to really break into that. And yes, it was just pointed out that price action is continuing to coil. When you do get price action coiling and apexing, the longer it does that, generally, the more explosive the eventual move is. It seems like we have been pushing more and more towards a flattening top, as opposed to our supports, which have been, getting slightly higher with each coil. So you could look at that and you could kind of call that a bull flag, a little bit of a bull flag. So we are consolidating above our previous zone. So maybe we are going to get that break to the upside. Maybe it will be a pretty big break because we'll finally have chewed through this wall of supply. I mean, if that is the case, if this has been an accumulation campaign, just continuing to chunk away at that wall of supply, then when this move does happen, if it happens to the upside, it should be a pretty big move. All right, the first exploratory probe. See if it gets smacked down or not. So when you have accumulation campaigns, again, if this is an accumulation campaign, when you get that probe up, that's whoever's been in this campaign trying to accumulate everything. What they're doing is they're testing that wall of supply, right? Because if you see every single time they pushed into it so far, they were getting, thwarted, just pushed back pretty hard. So now this is the attempt to see if that supply is gone or still there. This is where you get upthrust events. When there's a test of the supply, if that supply, is still really strong right there, what we could then see is the person or the entity that was going through the accumulation campaign gives up. And then they end up liquidating everything that they've been buying at those lows, at the support. And then you see a flush down to support and then a subsequent break and a rotation down. The same is true if the script was flipped and we were looking at oh God, what's the opposite of an accumulation campaign? A distribution campaign. There we go. Yes, thank you. Discord helped me out there. So the opposite is true for a distribution campaign, right? You get people who are distributing supply up at the highs of the range, and then they'll go and probe the lows, the support, to test to see if there's still demand for the supply. If there isn't, they'll flood the rest of what they've got in, sending prices lower. Or if they get reversed and there's still a lot of demand, they'll give up, and then we get that squeeze. So there's your little Wyckoff lesson for the day. There's lots of other trading theories that also talk about accumulation and distribution campaigns, but that just kind of explains for you what's happening when you see price action coiling, when you see, a resistance and a support that seem to be being respected, bull flags, bear flags, things like that. So there doesn't seem to be a huge interest in driving up further. Granted, the supply wall has not chunked us back down. So now we're getting a little bit of some consolidation above that zone. And again, we talked about consolidation at the end of a range is good for a continuing move. All right. Hey, thanks for joining us this morning. Take care, man. Really appreciate you hanging out. Always love having you here. And we'll catch you later. Have a great weekend. All right, now that we have moved up, we're going to go ahead and move our stop up to that level. Ideally, I do really, really want this to keep moving. I want to get our goal for today. We're so close. We're about 30 cents away from it. So close. So close. Come on, keep breaking. Keep breaking. And at the very least, if I can hit my goal, this will be awesome. If we retrace, we won't hit our goal, but we'll still be really green on the day. So woohoo! All right, we're moving our stop up. So now, no matter what, we will hit our goal. It's aggressive because this does look like it's just going to keep on moving up. But like I said, at this point, we've now hit our goal. We have a stop at our goal. So this is great. We can't not hit our monetary goal today. All right, that's not entirely true. If we get like some wicked crazy flush that just jumps our stop, then yes, we will end up not making our goal. But is it going to happen? Is it going to happen? It's so close. We're stretched pretty thin. We're probably going to get some fallback here. We'll see. We'll see. All right. That's it. We're out. We hit our goal for today. All right, guys, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for joining us for our very first stream here in the Discord. And if I do decide to upload this to YouTube, hey, thanks for hanging out and watching with me. And, listening to me kind of fuss around and figure out what the heck I was going to do today. But yeah, this is great. Nice way to end the week. Nice way to end our day. Nice way to end the month and the quarter. So yeah, again, thanks so much, guys. If you haven't already, please join our Discord. Hang out with us. Trade with us. We're friendly. We're definitely not professionals by any stretch of the imagination, but we love to share knowledge and information, and we love to have discourse and discussion on what's going on in the markets. All right, guys, take it easy. I'm out.